think this is the most exciting and scary time to be alive when you're thinking about technology. On the one hand, if we didn't have technology, we wouldn't be able to spread information of a good kind. For example, the Arab Spring, or information about protests, or information about news. So we need technology. Technology connects us, but in many ways, technology really can divide us. We have a loneliness epidemic in the world when we're allegedly more connected than ever because of technology, but it can keep us apart. I think technology can also divide us politically because you see the rampant spread of misinformation. And one of the things I'll be talking about during my presentation is about how the social media algorithms are designed to give you what you want to hear, because we are in an engagement economy. We're in an economy where data is the new oil and we are the product. So the longer we spend using technology, we are training it to give us what we want to see. For a healthy democracy, that's not always the right thing because we don't always hear different points of view. On the other hand, if it wasn't for technology, I wouldn't have been able to get on a plane. I wouldn't be able to use the Wi-Fi. I wouldn't be able to do so many things. So when I look at the role that we as citizens play, our role is to be healthy when we use technology, to be informed, to get other points of view, but also to get outside and get away from the technology, because sometimes we're so bombarded with all the messages we get from the media and social media and our technology, and we have our devices in our hands, which, we live. There are people who can't go to the toilet without having their phone in their hand. But sometimes the greatest inspirations will come when we're standing outside in nature. So I think of nature as a different kind of technology. We just don't think of it that way. There is nothing more important than that right now, and it's one of the things I'm talking about in the remarks about the need for shared values. When you look at, and I'm not talking about whether we have the same political beliefs, but what do we believe as a society is acceptable? What do we believe is inviolable, that we cannot violate? So if we look at the rise of generative AI, things like ChatGPT and other kinds of things, what are the ethics about when certain technology is released? I've read a quote from the co-inventor of Siri, which is on the Apple phones where you could talk, and that uses AI. But he said, I'm worried that we're using human beings as an experiment without their consent. Right? And so there are lots of people now talking about ethics and technology, and I'm actually going to be teaching a class on that in the fall, because we focus on what we want and what we need and what might give us immediate gratification without thinking about what are the ramifications for others, what are the ramifications for people where there's a digital divide where some people may not have access to the information. I worry about a world of have and have-nots when it comes to technology and information. And when you have that situation, if you don't have an ethical framework, if you don't have a common social contract where we say, this is too far, we're not going to do it. If money and a free market system is allowed to rule, that's great in other areas, but when it comes to technology and business, I think we need to kind of bring some of that back and focus on the ethics first. So ethics by design, just like you have privacy by design, ethics by design, and I would also add in human rights by design. For many years, I worked as a lawyer in a large company that managed other companies' supply chains. So I would travel the world, whether it was in China or Brazil or other places, and just see how different people lived, and thinking about the power of business, not just to employ people, but the people that we employ is different. But also helpful for the shop owner or the vendor, etc. So businesses can, in some places, be more powerful than countries. And I actually think business people are more powerful than governments, depending on the kind of business that you run. And I became interested because I started thinking about what is that responsibility if you have that much power, if you can be as powerful as a state. Then with that great power comes great responsibility. And so for our business people, the individuals in the audience that are going to hear me speak today, they all have responsibility. And the responsibility is to say, we have to make the world better than it is now. We can't make it worse. And it can't stay the same, because we won't be able to survive that.